Oh, I was just wondering, is it difficult to kind of try to, like, with the press, promote an album that you've only really recorded maybe a month ago, and you don't really have maybe the retrospect that a few months down the line?
Like, so are you saying it's difficult to talk about, or?
Yeah, like, it's a strange question, I know, but is it difficult to kind of, like, explain an experience of recording a record, like maybe only a few weeks after you have? Or
I mean, yeah, obviously you have different insight and different understanding of songs, like after you go on tour and really kind of see the broader scope of the result. I mean, there's certain parts that, of course, are fresher in your mind, so you're going to remember, oh, I did this in the studio. I wouldn't say it's necessarily more difficult. It's just different. I think, I mean, the cool thing, at least with this record, is I've seen a lot of good reviews of it, which I'm really happy about, of course. But you never expect that. Like, you know, you go in and you make something that's so personal, and you're gonna, even though we're really proud of it, there's always going to be like insecurities, and you're going to notice things that weren't perfect, and you know that stuck out to you because you know you were so ingrained and focused on it while you're making that music and putting it to tape. And you're going to be like, oh, everyone's going to see this, but really they don't, and they get this whole different interpretation of it. So when you know you go out and you see this record blowing kids' minds, like, you know, and all these kids coming to the show and knowing the words and stuff, like that makes me feel amazing. You know, like that's the most flattering thing I could think of. It's really cool. And I don't know, I just never have that expectation. I never think it's going to do really well because I never want to jinx it, and I'm not that arrogant, you know. I like it because I made it, and it's just, you know, I don't cater to anybody else, so I don't expect anyone else to like it. And at the same time, just at least me as a musician, or just my own personal taste, I don't like a lot of contemporary music or a lot of the other bands that, you know, maybe our fans like listening to, I don't like listening to. So I'm like, if I'm creating something that I'm gonna like, I'm really like impressed or surprised if everyone else does too. I mean, that's amazing. That's really cool because I'm just doing it on my own terms, or like, you know, as a musician and us as a band, you know, we never do anything that, you know, okay, let's write a song because, you know, this is what's really cool right now. You know, let's write a rap metal song because that might get us huge, or let's be a pop punk band. Like, I never understand, you know, when I see, I've had friends, you know, at various points where they'll start bands, you know, we'll do this band and we'll get really big, you know, and that's the exact opposite of what we've tried to do. Because when we started this band, it was like, okay, let's play in this, you know, fun band just for fun, because that's all it was. It was just me, Liam, and like a couple of our friends just jamming, and we wrote some songs, and it was like, whatever. This wasn't even a serious band at the beginning because we were in other bands at the time, and it just ended up working out. And it was like, okay, cool, well, we're really having fun doing this, and it seems like some other people are really liking it, so let's go with that. And then that's kind of what we've done ever since. So yeah, no.
How you can turn like a hobby into a career.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know, and that's the thing. You're never ready for what that's going to mean, you know, because at this point it's like our job, because we make sure we're on tour all year, so we don't have time to do anything else, which is great. And I mean, that's kind of the best way to do it, at least in our mind, is just work really hard at it, because this is the only thing we really want to do. You know what I mean? We have this opportunity. Let's not waste it or take things for granted like that. So, yeah, so it's really important for us to just do anything, whether it be write music or, you know, even when it comes down to, you know, making T-shirts and stuff like that. And, you know, we just want everything to be an honest representation of who we are, and never come across as contrived or
Have like your finger on the pulse of what's cool.
yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not saying we're the most original band in the world, because we're not. You know what I mean? I didn't invent guitar. I didn't invent metal or punk or whatever. You know, I play the way I do because of the influences that I've grew up listening to, and I think it's because our band and everyone in it has eclectic tastes. I think we're able to come and, you know, form this melting pot that is Cancer Bats.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, I'm having a great time, so I hope we keep doing it, because yeah, this is the only thing I've done in my life that's made 100% sense to me. So I just want to keep that going, and just, you know, not, you know, I really want, without saying, you know, like talking about not catering to our fans or something like that. You know, I want to do what we do and appreciate our fans. You know, like that kind of thing.
Because sometimes fans change.
Oh, totally. And that's the thing. And that's what's happened. You know, at the beginning, we were playing like hardcore shows to, you know, some older kids, and that was a totally different crowd. And that's kind of where we got our start, because those were the kinds of shows we were going to, and we grew up going to. That's what we knew. And now it's, in a lot of places, it's a younger audience, you know, that's not necessarily into like straight up hardcore, which is cool, because I like that. Because when I was in high school, I was that kid too. You know, I grew up, I was a metal guy, you know, and so I would go to metal shows, and I didn't really have, you know, any sort of stigma other than, hey, I really like metal, I'm gonna go headbang and mosh really hard for, you know, my new favorite band or whatever it was. And I think that's really cool, because I see a lot of that in the same, you know, kids. But it's interesting where, you know, traveling the world, where your audience is completely different. Like, we played Quebec City like a couple nights ago, and the crowd was all like 20-year-old hardcore kids, which is really weird, because in a lot of other places, those are the kids that don't like us. You know, so I was like, oh wow, cool. You know, like, this is refreshing, because they respond to a show differently. You know what I mean? They have their, you know, serious dance moves, and that's cool too. And you know, but then we'll go to a show tonight where it's a bit of a younger audience, and they have a serious push mosh, but that's awesome, you know. But I'd like to say that personally, I'm into whatever. If somebody wants to have fun, you know, we never have any, you know, specific rules or guidelines about who can like our band, because at the end of the day, we're no better than anybody else. You know, we're just the same as everyone. You know, we go to shows on our own time and go see the bands that we like, and we just want the kids to, you know, that come and see our band to have fun too, and nobody be excluded. You know, I hate when things get really cliquey, or, you know, or like music sometimes becomes too much of a boys club, you know what I mean? It's like, I like seeing girls up front rocking out too, you know, like that kind of shit. It's like really cool. And I don't know, I like that we have this eclectic type of kids, you know, coming to shows. Like, there's metal kids, punk kids, hardcore kids, whatever, and because that's all the stuff that we're into. So if people are getting our band on different levels, you know, that's really cool to me.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of speaking on that same similarity, it seems that kind of Southern Ontario has really developed its own, I wouldn't say a clique, but it's really developed almost like a brotherhood, because you'll have a bunch of different musicians in a lot of different bands, like playing on each other's records and playing shows with each other.
Yeah,
and
no.
That's the great thing, because like kind of musical genres don't really dictate who can play with you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think that's really cool. Especially, I don't know, at least what we've been able to do. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't think we sound anything like Alexis on Fire, but, you know, we'll get those guys to come, you know, sing on our records and come on tour with us, and they'll bring us on tour, you know what I mean? Like, we're bringing Black Lungs on tour right now, and that's a totally different thing, you know what I mean? It's like this melodic street punk band right now, you know, and actually Liam's playing drums in the band,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool, and I mean, that works out, but I mean, it's a different vibe than us entirely, but I think that's cool and interesting. And then, you know, you've got Textbook Tragedy, who are doing a more straight up, you know, like metal, you know, technical metalcore kind of thing, and, you know, different people can enjoy that, but it all kind of works together, even though it's three different types of bands, but, you know what I mean, we can all be friends and hang out. And I definitely think Ontario has a wealth of really good bands right now, and I don't know, it's cool. I mean, we're all really into, like, I don't know if you know the band The Constantines. Yeah, like, they're a great indie rock band. You know, I'd love to play shows with a band like that, just because I'm a big fan, but I like that contrast. See, that's me. I like extremes, you know. Guys in my band will make fun of me because at one moment I'm listening to like 80s thrash metal, and then the next I'm listening to like female-fronted indie rock.
Because I've heard you're a big fan of Tegan and Sarah.
Oh yeah, huge fan. Yeah, they're like one of the most interesting bands that, for me, that's, you know, that I've been listening to over the last like 4 years. You know, it's kind of opened up my mind to a lot of different stuff, and it's inspirational.